Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bob's Garage. Today we're working on my tractor. It's a little Ford Model 1210. This video I'm just going to be getting the mower deck off and putting the snowblower attachment on and just do some general checks before the winter season. I'll probably have a few more videos on this in the future. I'm going to be going through the deck that needs some work and just some general servicing work and a few seals that need to be replaced. I'll give you a little bit of a introduction to that. So what we got here is on this mower deck. I got a few issues. Bought this a little while ago. It's about the tractor is between an 83 or 89. I've never looked at the serial number to find out, but previous owner welded this adjustment shaft for height, which isn't too much of an issue, but it's real close to the deck, and the bushing's worn out, so it actually rubs and drags the tires. I got to fix that. I've got to replace the seals in this bearing. Did the other side last year. You can see water grease coming out of there. I'll check the bearing at the same time. So other than that, I've replaced a few bushings and slides. The tractor itself, I've got a seal leak on the one front axle. It's a four-wheel drive, and I've got some slop in the front bearing, the support bearing for the axle. That one's a real easy one to do, but also pull that off, put a new bearing in there, sleeve, and I also got a little bit of work to do on the steering. Replaced a few tie rod ends before, but this one started to become a problem, so I'll get that replaced as well. On the other side of the deck, you can see this one here doesn't have that extra reinforcement, so I'll probably repair that, put a proper patch on that, and do some other repairs, get the clearance. You can see pretty nasty welds being done there, but again, not going to touch that, but I'll check to see, you know, what I can do for the slop in these bushings. They're not available anymore, but I'll see what I can do, see if I can ream them out and put a sleeve inside. Like I said, this side I did last year, and that needs to be done. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot more to be done on it for now. I'm gonna start this tractor up, go pick up the or drop off the mower deck, and then pick up the snowblower and take a look at it. And I found another surprise in the tractor when I was just walking around taking a look at a few things. You can notice right here I got a crack. This is about probably about a 1/8 of an inch bow in this right now. Don't know how it happened, because really all this does is just keeps the arm here triangulated so it wouldn't bend. I think what happened is this tire caught on that front corner, so no big deal to take it off, unbolt that corner, unbolt this brace here, remove the pins for the arms and the hydraulic cylinders, disconnect the hydraulics up there, and this whole arm or bracket here will come off. I'll put it in the press, and I'll try to I'll probably pie cut right here, because I won't be able to get it quite tight, but I want to draw it back a bit further first so it straightens it out, because it'll just spring back. So I'll pie cut that. I have to do that anyways to weld down here and straighten that up. This has been patched up quite a few times by myself and by a previous owner. I cracked one of the welds doing some gravel work, so well, should be no problem fixing that. I may put a fish plate in here, don't know. Probably should try to figure out what to do to that corner so there's less clearance issues. This isn't a Ford front end loader. This is an aftermarket one, and that's why there's a clearance issue there. Take a look, see, might be some other ways of doing it and get the same thing done. Other than that, so I'm probably not going to do that first. I'll probably do that a little bit later when I do some of the other repairs. For now, I'm going to be working on the deck and get it stored away. Okay, so I got the deck off and going through some of the things I normally do, and first thing is I got to scrape off all the accumulation of all the grass. So, and then what I usually do, you can see down here, kind of looks like a almost like a tar. I put in just used oil and coat that and let that sit through the winter as well, just to protect it and keep that going. Works pretty well, but it was cutting a lot of wet grass here, so that needs to come off. Get some of these areas up here. The blade needs to come off, and I'll sharpen it. Said I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. And I think it's this bearing here that I'll be replacing as well. Can't see anything coming out of the base there. So that's basically it. You can see some of the repairs on the inside here from previous work. I'll take a look at that. One thing I found so far, put some grease in here, but these little shields, dust shields here, dust shields in there, they're coming loose and letting dirt get in there, and it's making a mess of that bearing. So I got to see if I can make myself a bit of a Teflon washer just to hold that seal together. Don't know what I was supposed to have been, but there's too much clearance there, as you can see. So I'm going to try this little Teflon washer. On this side I didn't find any real problems. Can't see here. I'm trying to fix this, grind off these welds, get this working like it used to. I'll just tilt this down for a second. So one thing I found was I got a bit of wear now. I fixed this last year, but all I did was replace the shaft. I knew this was loose. Basically what's happened is the shaft spun and wore into the little bracket here. So I'm going to weld that up, get a piece of bronze rod same size as this, weld around so it doesn't stick to the bronze, fill that hole in. This is what I'm starting to work on. Take this nasty weld off, get that working like it is, like it's supposed to again. Now I expect that's going to move that further back. I took a grinder, just cleansed that just a little bit, so you get a bit more space there. So fix that. As I said, this bearing seal's got to be replaced, belt's got to be replaced. I've got a fair bit of clearance on these pulleys, so I'm going to pull them apart. If I recall, they're just simple little bearings that can be pressed out. I've got a little bit of damage there. This shaft was rubbing there, but that's again because these are sitting too high, so I'll fix that up as well. So a bit of work. I'm mainly fixing up these nasty welds here. That's going to take a bit of time to grind that big glob off, and we'll see where we get. Otherwise the deck's looking okay. You can see this thing's had lots of repairs, probably rotted through in a bunch of different places. The rest of it's pretty solid, but that's why it's so important to keep it lubricated. But that's belt's just about ready to fail. So I'll start working on that. Other than that, like, not too many surprises on this, other than those rear bearings on those rear rollers. Everything seems to be getting a little bit sloppier and sloppier, but I guess that's expected. Okay, a couple days have passed. I've got the blades off and sharpened. Took a fair bit, and there was a bit of an imbalance as well too. I checked the balance a few different ways. One is to set a nail in the center and just nail it to a board in the wall somewhere. See if you get droop on one side versus the other to check the weight. You can see the H's for heavy, and even on my finger I can feel that. I don't know if I want to take a whole lot more off there. But I did have a problem. I also got this other tool here as well, and so it works pretty well too. But between the two of them, so I level those as much as I can. Probably need a new set of blades one way or the other, but at least they're set for the year. Now the other thing, you can see got a bit of snow since here. Got the welds ground down, but there must have been a little bit of a fillet in this area, so it's going to take a little bit. Well, I don't want to grind too much off, so I'm sure once I start pulling around it's going to break free, and then I'll be good. Same with the sides. This one I tried to use a little bit of a die grinder, but again, not too bad. So it's going to take a bit of work to build that back up. This is the next thing I'm going to work on today. So what happened, this is the shaft I made up last year. It had basically stuck inside the roller and it was spinning on the frame. So put these collars on, never really finished the job, but you can see there's a lot of movement there. So I think what I'm going to do, I was going to get a piece of 1/2 inch bronze rod and build up the oval hole back to shape, and use bronze rod so it won't stick to the bronze, and I'll build up the metal. But I decided for now, I think what I'm going to do is just simply tack these collars onto the side. Just a couple little tacks, won't take much. So it's rolling on the wheel. Not there's obviously a lot more surface area to go on this nylon wheel. So nothing to do other than pull it all apart, grind down a little bit of weld slag from somebody's repair some time ago. Looks like it might have cracked or something. Not 100% sure there. Grind that smooth, put a couple tacks on either side. I can always clean it off if I need to. So I'll do that next. So I changed my mind. And by the way, you can see how bad this is here, how much that's been worn out. Changed my mind. This is the original one, and you can see how much it wore out. What I'm going to do is use it along with a little piece of brass as a shield to build that back up. See how that works. Okay, so I got a couple of tack welds on either side. They're not very pretty. Probably should have spent a little bit more time cleaning off. There's still oil and what on there, but it's on there anyway, so let's see how well that works.